All right, so fifth graders, you guys get a special, really special project with clay this year, and you've had a class to practice. So this is your class to make your final project. Now, if you don't know what to make, I highly advise that you make a bowl, and I'm going to remind you of how to do that really quick. You take your thumb, you poke a hole in your lump of clay. Notice how my clay doesn't even look perfect. And you pinch all the way around there with your whole pinching hand. If you keep doing that with your pinching hands, see how I'm doing this? You will eventually end up with a really nice bowl. Now remember that you guys can use a lot of different kinds of glazes, so you can glaze your bowl in a whole lot of different ways to make it look really special. Now, I'm showing you this bowl because one of the most popular projects for a fifth grade clay project that I've seen are cupcakes. And making the bowl is the first step to making a cupcake. This is going to be the bottom of your cupcake right here. This will be like the cupcake liner part. And then I'm going to show you how I might make the top. So I'm going to take the clay, the same amount of clay that you guys have, and I'm going to sort of crush my bowl together so that we can make this together a little bit. So I've made my bowl right here. I have my stuff, and then I have my extra clay that's going to be the top of my cupcake. All right, my bottom is really thick, so I'm going to pull off some of that too. So look, I still have my little cupcake bowl right here, and later on when I've got it how I want it, I can go back and I can draw the lines like the cupcake liner, or I can add any of the details that I want at the bottom of my cupcake. All right, so I have the bottom of my cupcake. I'm going to take this clay and I'm going to make the top of my cupcake. Now, icing can look like a swirl pattern, and so here I'm going to use the coil technique that you remember you made your snails and snakes in third grade. And I'm going to coil out something that I'll then wrap up into my cupcake. So I have a coil right here, and I'm going to smooth it out. And this is going to be the top part of my cupcake. Now, I've had some people that don't really attach these two together, so it's like a cup or a bowl and a lid. And that's something that we can do too. Oh. So, I have this coil now, and I'm going to start just wrapping it up and coiling it up on top of my cupcake bottom. Now, if this breaks like this, this is okay. You can squeeze it together and slowly take your fingers and smooth it out. Because once we wrap this up like this, we're going to need to go back with our clay tool, and we're going to need to smooth it together anyway. So you can take a pencil, I've used a popsicle stick, or those green clay tools, and I sort of gently try to add some clay so that you can't see the holes in all of those spots. All right. Now, you can also make just another bowl and put it on top of this bowl to finish out your cupcake as well. Okay, that's totally another idea. But this, I think, kind of can look even like a bowl of ice cream. You could take some other clay that you hold aside, and you can make a cherry to go on top, you know, and you can glaze that cherry red. It doesn't look like much right now, but if I made this sort of pink, or this nice blue color, made this a red cherry, and then had a brown, or just left my cupcake bottom plain at the bottom, this could really be a cool looking project. Now, I may take a popsicle stick, and I kind of like being able to just sort of press it in. I think that helps give that cupcake liner look. But this is sort of the start of that project. Now, obviously, I haven't spent the whole class on it like you're going to, so it still looks a little rough. But this is really the start. Now, the other project that I've seen that turns out really, really nicely is a donut. All right, so to make a donut, that's pretty easy. You start with this lump of clay right here. You take your thumb and you stick it in it just like you would the bowl, right? except that once you got a little bit in there, I want for you to work on getting your finger through to the other side like this. We want a hole that goes all the way to the other side. And once you have that, if you use your pinching hands again and keep pressing that hole, you'll get the start of a donut. Now you can take your thumb and push your clay around, and if you keep working with your clay and working in that hole part, you can get the start of a really nice donut. Now I've seen people take little pieces of clay and add sprinkles to their donut. I've seen people draw or design some icing on their donuts. That's something that you may have for glaze later. And so your project may not look like much right now, but once you really work at smoothing it out and making it look as good as it can before the glaze, it'll really pay off when you glaze afterwards. Okay, so if you're not super thrilled with your project at the end of this class, just give it a chance, because glazing is what can really make a lot of these projects come to life. However, if you have something simple like this donut or something like the cupcake, what really makes them stand out and look good in the end is the time you take really working this class to refine the form of it, right? I mean, a donut is a pretty simple 3D form, but if you go out and if you smooth all of the cracks and if you make it look as even as possible, you even out your hole as much as possible, then those are the things that really make the donuts stand out when they're done. It's that homework part, it's the work that you do before the finished product that can really set them apart and really make them look special and unique. All right, so feel free to make whatever you want as long as it follows our 3 big guidelines. And remember, we also probably need to find your name or your initials somewhere. I can't wait to see the awesome projects that you guys do. And remember, I'll be around to help anybody, but this is the one class that we have. So if at the end, when I give a 15-minute warning, if you don't have anything, I highly advise for you to make something simple like a donut or simple like a bowl, because that'll get you a project where you have that you'll probably be happier with in the end. All right, great job, guys. Can't wait to see your awesome projects.